Hello there everyone, this is Marcbrightside and welcome back to Yume Nikki. I think the last part of this was uploaded sometime in September, so we've been on a very long hiatus, but I'd like to get this Let's Play back up and moving again. The reason for the long break is that I've had a lot of technical issues attempting to record this game, and I actually had to uninstall the game several times and reinstall a new updated version of it to get it to work. As you can see, I've played through the game to get the effects that I already had by the end of part 2. So for you, nothing will have changed apart from the fact that I don't have as much yen as I did before, but really no one cares about that. Anyway, I'd like to make some progress now, so let's venture into one of the more sinister areas of Yume Nikki, the Puddle World. The music here is very ominous, very foreboding, and the puddles on the ground give this place a very strange vibe. I can't think of how else to describe it. And this area is enormous, so use the puddles on the ground to find your way, and we can find an umbrella, which, as you can imagine, gives us the umbrella effect, again stating the obvious. Activating the umbrella causes the area to become flooded with rain, which will be important later on, but at the moment doesn't really serve any application. And as we can see, if you change effects after you've activated the umbrella for the first time, it actually stays raining. So if you want it to stop raining, then you have to reselect the umbrella and then deselect it again, which can be slightly annoying. But when you're out here in the darkness, you want to find this lamppost, the one that's turned on. There are 2 lampposts that are lit and one that isn't. If you find the one that's lit and has the unlit one to the north, then you've gone in the right way. But you can eventually find this kind of subway station entrance thing that will lead us out here. This is the dense woods. And there's actually a vending machine here, which brings up something I was going to mention. Actually, I think I did mention it in part 2, but that was a long time ago, so please forgive me. If you kill enemies in this game, you can get yen and use those to buy drinks that increase your health meter. This doesn't really serve any purpose apart from novelty. It's an artifact of the game engine, because this was made in RPG Maker. Anyway, this road is never ending. You can travel to the left and right all you want, and it will just loop back around. But what you want to do is head right and find what we either call a jellyfish, or a lotus flower, depending on who you ask. Not a jellyfish, like I just said. Interacting with the jellyfish will produce this chiming sound, and basically what they do is they warp reality. So they're one of the more important characters in the game. They don't appear very often, but every time you do, they change the ways that the areas link together. So where once was a dead end, you can now walk there and it will teleport you somewhere else. Travelling to the left just results in the area looping again after interacting with the jellyfish, but if you go to the right, you actually reach somewhere new. This is another area that will endlessly scroll to the right, and these things will stare at you as you go past. Some people might say these creatures have sexual connotations. I don't buy that myself, but never mind. But what you want to do is you want to head past the fat purple one, and then double back to the left, and then this one will appear that wasn't here before. And this will change the way the areas link together once again and result in you getting taken to the Dense Woods B, which is another section of it, in which we can find this dead man. Interacting with the dead man will get us the Stoplight effect, which I will demonstrate at some point soon, but I might as well tell you what it does now. Pressing the 1 button will alternate between the green and red lights. If you turn the light red, then every creature on screen will freeze. So if you need to get away from a Pterinagon, or if you just want to experiment with the environment, you can do that. Anyway, Depending on how long you take on the endless road, this manhole cover will either be closed or open, so because I took too long, I am actually going to make the trip back again, so I will see you in a few moments. Unfortunately, you can't just walk back because the area seals itself off, but if you get here fast enough, then the manhole cover will actually be open and there's this red tentacle sticking out of it. Venturing down here will lead us to this thing, which sometimes has hair. And going up the other tentacle will lead us to a very strange place indeed. This is the White Desert, which we'll be seeing a lot of in the future, but for now, the only way we can go is through this man's ear. The White Desert has an awful lot of very strange things to see in it. None of which are required. There are no effects in the White Desert, but it's certainly worth exploring for people that are interested in this game. Meet the thing with the quivering jaw. It's called that because it's a thing with a quivering jaw. I hate my life. But yeah, the stoplight can be used to freeze its jaw. Let's have a good look at this thing. What does it look like to you? What do you see this as? Anyway. You might have noticed when I was going along the endless road, there was actually a split in the pathway leading up into a section of woods. I'm just going to show that there's nothing there, just... A lot of people think that this is where you can get the alternate frog effect, but no, that's in a different section of the woods. This area really doesn't contain anything at all. There's this tree that looks really out of place, but that's about it. Apparently, apparently in earlier versions of the game, the frog will sometimes spawn there, but it doesn't do it in any of the versions I've ever played, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, moving on. We are going into the Foulke world, which is one of the least threatening areas in the game because there are just these little guys standing around holding shields. Stepping on the scribbles produces sound effects. I don't really know how you describe them. The shield folk men don't do anything. You can't interact with them with the knife or anything else. This door, we will be going through this door in a few moments, but there's an effect that I'd like to find. And this is one of the more annoying effects to find because it moves. So there's no set location for it to appear in. It does tend to hover around the area near-ish that door, but it wasn't there when I was looking, so I'm going to cut away until I can find it. Yeah, I just kind of wandered into it when I was stuck out here in the void. But yeah, you'll find this floating cat head, and if you interact with it, you get the cat effect. What this does is Madatsuki will grow cat ears and a tail, and pressing the 1 button allows you to track enemies and creatures towards you. So, if you need to get something out of the way, and you either can't stab it or don't want to stab it, then you can use the cat to move it. And it also lets us interact with a few other things. But now we're going to be heading through this door. And this is the static maze. This place, if you've ever played the original Pokemon games, is like Koga's gym. The path through here is marked by invisible walls that we can't see. Now, for the sake of everyone out there, I'm going to cut away until I reach the exit, because, I mean, look at it. It's seizure-inducing. No one wants to sit there and watch me fumble through this. So, go to the Yume Nikki wiki. There is a very good guide on how to get through there. It's got all the invisible walls marked out. You don't need me to show that. I'll put a link in the description. Just for the sake of everyone's eyesight, let's skip the static maze. And now it becomes a very different game. If you've ever played Earthbound or any of the Mother games, this is a homage to that. So whoever made this game, well, I know who made this game, Yuki-onna, obviously really liked Mother / Earthbound. Shut up. Anyway, you find this house, and there are a bunch of creatures in this house that don't really do anything. And there is an effect that we can get in here, but the house is a bit of a maze. It doesn't link together properly. Really, if you want to know how to get there, it's very easy to get lost in here. Just keep going downwards, down and to the left. If there's an opportunity to go down and to the left, take it. These mushroom things get in the way. You can move them out of the way using either the cat or you can stick them with the knife. Wow, I was feeling violent in this dream. You might notice a little pause there. That's because I accidentally spoke to this character while I still had the knife out and stuck him. That gives us the demon effect, talking to that guy. I will demonstrate what the demon effect does. It doesn't do anything, it's not a required effect. It doesn't do anything productive. It does do something, but we don't need the effect. So, moving on, there is one other thing we can find in here. If you find this sad-looking blob, then go up the stairs just past it. Go up the stairs, you know what I meant. And eventually you'll reach the top of the house, which you can go through this door and find probably the closest thing to a boss in this game. I say that because it doesn't hurt you. So, all it does is take, I think, 5 or 6 stabs with the knife to kill, and that's about it. Very occasionally it will drop 500 yen, or maybe it's 250, I don't remember. It drops a lot of yen, but it didn't give me anything this time, unfortunately. Like I said before, the yen is only used for buying drinks at the vending machines, which is pointless, unless you really care about that kind of thing. Anyway, we have one last area to explore. Going back to the central hub, we are going to take a trip to the Snow World, which is surprisingly not the door with the ice crystal on it. It's actually the door to the left of that. I like to think that was a knowing little subversion of ideas on the maker's part. Not that door there, this door. I really like this music track. A lot. I find it very relaxing. Ooh, there are a lot of things to look for out here. Many of you will probably know about the big thing, which I'm not going to cover just yet. We'll wait for that, for people that don't know. And for people that do know, don't spoil it. Because people only subscribe to me for this game, and then I go 6 months without giving it to them. Actually, this is a good enough time to explain my technical difficulties. What had happened was the conversion of the game that I use, because I have a Mac, I don't have a Windows computer, stopped working. For no reason, it just didn't work anymore. And I tried uninstalling it and reinstalling it. Nothing happened, nothing worked. But I actually found an update from the original guy. I found an update from the guy who originally ported the game over to Mac, and he said that he'd ironed out some known bugs. Also, the music in the Eyeball World that I had to mute in part 2 now plays properly, so I'll make sure to make a trip to the Eyeball World at some point in the future so we can hear that. Anyway, that was the first of several interesting things out here. There is a sleeping, younger version of you in one of those igloos. She doesn't do anything and you can't interact with her at all, but it's just interesting that it's there. Also, this bed. Scattered throughout the dream world, there are 4 beds. I think I've mentioned this already, but if I have, please forgive me, it's been a long time. There's a 1 in 4 chance that sleeping in one of these beds will transport you somewhere else, and it's randomized every time. That bed is the easiest to access if you need to. And this igloo seems fairly pointless. You go inside here and there, yeah. If you stab that Pterinagon beforehand, you'll be instantly caught. And I think it takes you somewhere special, actually, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's an effect out here, and again, she moves, so I was very happy that I found her as quickly as I did. This is the Yuki-onna, which is Japanese for Snow Woman. And, do I demonstrate this here? I think I do. It should be fairly obvious what this does. Yeah, it makes it snow. And you can also combine this with another effect that we'll find later on to do something kind of cool. Get it? Kind of cool. That was a pun. Oh, kill me. Kill me now. This is what the demon effect does, by the way. If you make it rain with the umbrella and then turn into the demon and then press 1, you can make a thunderbolt appear for some reason. It doesn't do anything. Entirely pointless. But that's enough for part 3. See you again in 6 months. No, really. This game should be back to being updated on a somewhat regular schedule. Hopefully. So until then, this has been Marcbrightside. Take care everyone, and hopefully there'll be no more interruptions to this LP. See you all soon.